Hi, welcome to my Words and Wine whiteboard session on competitor analysis. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to teach you what a SWOT analysis is, an example of how to conduct a SWOT on your competitor, and the steps you need to take to turn your value proposition into a unique selling proposition, or USP. So, SWOT, SWOT, stands for Strengths. What is your competitor doing well right now? Weaknesses. What is your competitor not doing so well right now? Opportunities. What could your competitor do well in the future? And threats. What could harm your competitor in the future? Now, the example I'm going to use tonight is actually on me. So let's pretend that you wanted to be doing the same kind of thing that I was doing, and you had pulled me up as an example of a competitor. This is how you would look at me in terms of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we want to get about 4 or 5 things on each to explain what I'm doing well and not so well, and what I could be doing in the future that is both good and potentially harmful, as we've said. So the kind of things you want to look at is what people are doing on their website. What are they doing on their social channels? Is it clear whether or not they have a target audience? Who is that target audience, and how are they speaking to them? And then we kind of break them down into these different things. So for strengths, if you look at my channels and you look at my website, what you'll notice is that I produce regular content and I share it on my social media channels. My website is kept fresh, and you'll notice that the copyright is in 2018. It's showing that my website has been updated recently. I've spoken at a relevant event in the past 6 to 12 months. I repurpose my content usefully, for example, by having a podcast and a YouTube channel. And I know my subject area well. On the other hand, there are many weaknesses that I have as well. Not a lot of engagement on social channels. I don't have a strong profile in the media. There's some mixed messaging that makes my value proposition a bit unclear online. I'm not media trained, and my presentation can be a bit hit and miss. And it's hard to tell sometimes who my primary target audience is. Now let's have a look at opportunities. So I could get media training to help finesse my presentation, become a contributor to a relevant publication, create a clearer call to action to get audience engaged online, update my website to include a business story and messaging, and share relevant case studies to help show who my primary audience is. My threats, on the other hand, include things like this. Self-promotion as a teacher can come across as narcissistic, which I need to watch out for. Sharing content too often could end up making me annoy some potential customers. Having myself as the face of the business could make it hard to pass on work to future hires because I'm building the trust around my name. I need to be careful to not share too much intellectual property for free. And repurposing content can make the website look repetitive, so I need to be careful of that as well. And what you'll notice if we look back on this now is that the strengths match up with the threats. So the things that we're good at also tell us the things that could potentially become harmful if we're not careful. Meanwhile, with weaknesses, these are where our greatest opportunities lie. So when we understand the weaknesses of ourselves, we understand the opportunities that we have to better ourselves. When we understand the weaknesses of our competitors, we can also find opportunities and gaps that we might be able to fill in order to offer a unique selling proposition. Now, what does this have to do with your value proposition? So if you remember earlier in the week, we were talking about value propositions. Now, value proposition is about creating value that your business promises to deliver on. Your USP, or your unique selling proposition, is about how you position yourself in relation to your competitors who are promising something similar. So this is what I would suggest you do. Conduct a SWOT on 3 of your competitors who are doing what you want to do. Summarize in 1 sentence where their biggest gaps are for each of those competitors. Do a SWOT on yourself to see where your gaps are. Look at your value proposition. Will this help you address something that your competitors aren't? Rewrite your value proposition, and this is now your unique selling proposition. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you like videos like this and want to see more, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back on Monday with another episode of Words and Wine.